Hello, Patreons, and welcome to QNC After Dark. We just did Rime of the Frost's Maiden episode 24.
24.
Yeah, 24. Cool. Whoa, what happened, folks? How you feeling? You got some punches in.
One of those rare cases where like splitting the party.
Oh my
well,
gosh.
I wouldn't say it went well, but
not go well.
There was sorry, speaking for myself.
Boom, fireball.
we
Fireball.
There's a lot of urgency in each of the bits that we kind of tackled here, which I thought was very exciting.
So I did a roll. If I would have succeeded on that attack, 25 points of regular damage, plus sneak attack, and if it would have moved, another 13.
Nice.
Yeah.
But instead, I rolled a natural 1 and a 4.
Boo.
Don't beat yourself up
that
for
was
it.
so
bold,
great.
Yeah, bold choices.
It was fun.
Bold choices.
Oh gosh, like that. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. That's Elspeth all by herself with an albino.
Well, and like this was the thing to keep honest, which is why I declared that I already had planned, because that was entirely my plan was to be like, oh, we're just gonna go down and check this out. Why don't you go? And she was gonna get all up in his business, do a bunch of creepy necrotic touch spells, try to take him down fast, and then like hopefully by that time you guys would have a chance to get back. Like that was her entire plan. But as soon as the party split, she's like, okay, now we have a different problem because the backup is great for me, but now we don't have any way to contact Donovan. And like that was her big concern. It's like, you guys at least know where I am and you can come back. So I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll just convince this guy that I have now joined the cult, and I'll kill Kadroth, I'll make friends with the albino tiefling, be like, hey, look, I just want to be your new cult leader. It'll be fine. Because, I'm so good at deception.
I'm afraid Kadroth is a lot more formidable than we have
Given
thought.
credit for him.
Yeah.
Well,
When you guys, because I never play like magic-y people, when you inflict wounds, can you inflict it in a way that doesn't seem like it's you?
it's a touch spell, so it pretty much is.
It comes from your touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You have to be in physical contact.
So you can't give them a case of food poisoning or like.
I could with Ray of Sickness.
Oh,
Also a thing that I have.
Oh, okay. So like if it's okay, gotcha. So like if you're trying to be like if you're holding someone's arm in the future and you're trying to be sneaky about poison or like making them take damage.
The trick with a lot of the spellcasting stuff is like, I know for me as a cleric, most of my stuff has both verbal and somatic components. So what it actually looks like is I'm like weaving my creepy goth cat's cradle and chanting something.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to hide.
Gotcha.
Sorcerers have meta magic that could be a subtle spell.
Yeah.
So that you could do it subtly.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty much the only people that can do magic without being noticed.
Sorcerers.
Yeah.
I haven't
Like,
quite.
If you're casting a
that.
spell, otherwise it's usually visible.
Okay.
Is that a level thing? I guess I haven't encountered that yet.
Yeah.
Or-
Tassi, which meta magics did you take? Because you have sorcery points. to use.
Transmuted spell.
So you can change the damage type.
Yeah, so like depending on what I need at any given point, I can.
You have subtle spell too.
I do.
It says so on your character sheet. Yeah, you can spend a sorcery point to cast your spell without somatic or verbal components.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So you can
So they didn't
literally
even
just
see
make
that
magic
fireball.
happen.
Yeah, they didn't even see that fireball coming.
Or yeah,
Or you
Is
can
that-
change that fireball into a lightning ball.
right. Yeah. I just figure since we're here in the icy regions, fire would be a good sort of. It was either going to be that or like acid, but I think someone had asked if what they were wearing. It was mostly leather, so I'm like, we'll go with fire.
Yeah, I think force damage. So fire damage has the most people or monsters that are resistant to it, whereas like force damage and lightning damage, there's less resistance to it.
Fire also has the most vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there isn't much vulnerability, but usually it's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like certain undead plant monsters, things like that.
Trolls.
Interesting.
I also love how in episode 24, we're getting a lot darker, you guys. Speaking of down
Or
darker
finally
trails.
playing the horror side of the horror.
Yeah,
campaign.
finally. I
Yeah.
mean, well, it's like Amoa is just like not caring and just like dropping fireballs. Azar is saying, "Yeah, you can get out of here if you want," and then
I didn't say you can go. I
No,
tell
I
you
know.
to leave.
You should
No,
run.
I know. I'm just teasing. But then even Renner's like, "Are you going to leave?" And then Donovan comes in, smacks him in the jugular. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're just sure.
Well, and it was funny that you point out too that Renner's having a little bit of that conflict crisis of like, so do we
Yep.
kill them or not? Because Elspeth coming out of the other end of her crisis after like nearly getting half the party killed and not getting responses from her gods, like for several times in a row, is starting to just kind of throw her caution to the wind because she's like, well, if you're not going to help me, then it doesn't
Here we go.
matter, does it?
Mm. Faith crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
It's real.
Struggle's real. Oh my goodness, it's good times.
It's fine. I'm part of a cult now, apparently. Maybe. We'll
The
see.
leader. Is there water? Do we know if there's a water source under this? We're right alongside the.
We're right next to Mayor Dwalton.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Loch Denishir.
Oh, sorry,
Near
Loch
Walden's
Denishir. We're on the other
Loch
side.
Denishir.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
this
how far down was it to the water?
It's about like mathematically, it's like 35.
Oh.
Yeah, so you said we're about 30 feet down, so.
And I was going to ask, I don't know if this is something, but like the one that Azar came across, the lady, are people freezing the same way the lady did, or did she?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if hers was like more of a self-inflicted, because it was very good timing on that one. Her frozen moment.
So we've seen everybody that's a believer has turned into a block of ice
Mm-hmm.
that when they die. Does that also mean that we have to then chip away that block of ice to loot the bodies?
So I've been lenient, but technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're dead. We've got time.
Yeah.
well, I don't know if we have time.
Well, yeah, this is where I got super lucky last time we played when I made the call about deciding to tell him that my dad worshipped Levistus, is
Mhm.
because Tomb of Levistus is a warlock incantation that you get that involves like ice. It's similar to Armor of Agathis is the other one where you basically get like ice armor. And so I was like, well, we're in the frozen wastelands. This is as good a bet as any for an excuse of why I'd be looking for my dad up here. And I was like, and now this week it's like, oh fuck, that was too good of a guess. I might have maybe I should have gone for one of the lust gods instead. Whew.
Would have made them easier to convince them to go somewhere alone. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The bright side of having picked correctly the archdevil that they're trying to worship is less likely for them to think that we're going to piss that god off.
That's true.
Or the archdevil off, because
Yeah.
Vistus is particularly notorious for taking out vengeance on people who worship other devils, if I recall my lore correctly. That's player lore, not character lore.
Yeah. Roll a history check.
Alondra has a very high history
Yeah, yeah.
modifier.
Yeah.
No, I was also wondering too. One last thing. So when we are hearing because you know how like in real life we all have voices. Well, most people have voices in their head, like or they can talk to themselves or they'll hear something in their head. When you are doing this psychic connection, I was wondering because when you were talking to Meek and Meek was like, "What's going on?" or "What's going on?" for the first time, I always wonder because when people think of their own voices in their head, I feel like you don't normally think of your own voice. Like you think of something else. So I was hoping Meek would be like, "Yes, what's going on?" Or like have some like completely different, like this is Meek, because like your inner when you're thinking to yourself, you always have a different perception of your own voice. So I just thought that was kind of interesting how other people perceive, like when you are psychically pinging someone, if it's the same voice you hear when they speak out loud or not. I don't know. I'm getting way too existential at one. 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I know.
All right, but we should wrap it up for this.
He's just like, stop this nonsense.
James has got to go. That's why we went early. We'll be back later. Thank you, Patreon. Enjoy the content, and thank you.
Thank you. Catch you next time.